Hi everybody, this is the third in a series of 3 videos that I'm making, which contain the music for my musical Suspicious, which premiered in 1990 in Boston. This is the last of the 3, and it contains all of the music for Act 2, which traditionally for musical comedies, the Act 2 has less music than Act 3 does, but this ends with a reprise of Mata Hari from the first act. Now, at the end of Act 1, for those of you who watched the first and second videos, you may remember that at the end of Act 1, Fritz and Robin had been arrested and handcuffed together and were being hauled off to jail. At the beginning of Act 2, we hear police sirens in the distance, and we see Fritz and Robin come on stage. It turns out that they escaped from the paddy wagon. However, they are still handcuffed together. Now, during Act 1, Fritz and Robin have been having a kind of dalliance, but the more they get to know each other, the less they like each other. And at this point, and again, this is something from the 39 Steps, at this point, even though they're handcuffed together, they're very angry with each other. And the first song in Act 2 is a duet where they sing about their mutual dislike of being in the situation that they're in, although sometimes they're being sarcastic about it. I don't like you, you don't like me. We've got a symbiotic relationship, Fritz. I don't trust you, you don't trust me. It may sound idiotic, but we've got a symbiotic relationship, Robin. I don't feel this way about others. If we can't have keepers, why use our brothers, Fritz? You may think you're good at keeping your distance, but remember, you've become a part of me now. Robin, I see it's no good to offer resistance. Evidently, I've become a part of you now, Fritz. Won't it be nice when we snuggle tenderly in bed? In fact, we might as well just order a twin bed. Good morning and goodbye, bachelor existence. Darling, you've become a part of me now. Robin, don't tell me, I know our meeting was fateful. No denying, you've become a part of me now. You're thinking I should be properly grateful, but I'm angry, you've become a part of me now. Might as well say farewell, freedom, farewell, defiance. Now that I'm hanging from this household appliance, I frankly suspect it's liable to be hateful, knowing you've become a part of me now. And then the dance interlude, which is actually very funny because they're handcuffed together and they're doing a dance routine. This is also among my favorite dance music that I've ever written in my life because it turns into a waltz. With 2 people handcuffed together. Fritz, I'm faithful, I know how ill it would serve you. If I loved you, you become a part of me now. Robin. I'm loyal, I know how it would unnerve you. If I loved you, you'd become a part of me now. Fritz. People who'd hint that we're splitting only demean us. God help the people who try coming between us. I don't know what I've been doing to deserve you. Darling, you've become a part of me now. Okay. The solution to all the problems occurs to Fritz. What started all of this was the competition between Zelida Archipenko and Gutruna, who were spies for opposite sides. And Fritz has the idea that he will bring Hermann II back to life as a ghost. And Hermann will resolve the centuries-long feud that has caused the two factions to be fighting each other, and everybody can be happy again. So he convinces Cyril to appear in the town square at midnight, dressed in a suit of armor and pretending to be Hermann II. Meanwhile, he decides to rouse up enthusiasm for the coming visit by pretending to be a gypsy. Now, of course, Fritz doesn't know anything about real gypsies, so his gypsy is totally out of the movies, and the music is not anything like real gypsy folk music. It's actually, I thought it up after listening to a lot of Liszt's Hungarian Rhapsodies and stuff like that. So he begins by everybody's sitting around the town square, and he begins by moving around the square, making strange noises and mysterious gestures. And this is how it starts. It begins with my laptop says is a tremolo, but it doesn't sound at all realistic. Maybe you're wondering why I am wandering, screeching and caterwauling all around the square, doing my gypsy dance, showing my undressed birth beneath my fingernails and flowers in my hair. Hey! Though I'm a gypsy girl, vibrant and free, aimless meandering isn't for me. All through the countryside I'm going up and down, telling everyone I know Hermann's back in town. Did you say Hermann? Yes, I said Hermann. The famous Hermann II. And he's returning? Yes, he's returning. In fact, the man may be arriving any second. The bell of the cathedral clock will chime at the appointed time. The wolves will howl, the midnight owl will hoot and sing like anything, and then, well, what happens then? Here comes Hermann, medieval Hermann. Take the word of peasants, Hermann's back in town. Feel that squirming, easy to determine. Ectoplasmic presence, Hermann's back in town. Buckler and sword at his side, nowhere a person can hide. When that shivering sets your insides quivering, bet your bottom 10 cents, Hermann's back in town. Chorus, buckler and sword at his side, nowhere a person can hide. When that shivering sets your insides quivering, bet your bottom 10 cents, Hermann's back in town. You don't have to listen to a sermon, don't get me wrong. I'm not imitating Ethel Merman singing a song. All I'm intimating is that Hermann's coming along. a drink and order it strong. When you hear the clatter of his armor come down the street, you'll feel all a tingle and a tremble down through your feet. He won't be arriving until midnight, just keep your seat. Still, it wouldn't hurt to repeat that here comes Herman, Supernatural Herman. Call the spook inspector, Herman's back in town. No mystery, read ancient history. He's the family specter, Herman's back in town. Buckler and sword at his side, nowhere a person can hide. There's no trickery, I could swear my hickory. Use your lie detector, we'll be haunted when the undaunted, so often haunted. Herman's back in town. Don't be tardy, don't be foolhardy, let's have a party. Herman's back in town. No timidity, where's your intrepidity? Notify the city, Herman's back in town. Life will be a carnival when the gallivantin' Raven Brighton, Herman's back in town. Fritz does, amazingly enough, convince all of the people in the town square that he is in fact a gypsy. He tells everybody's fortune, in the process solving a lot of the plot conflicts. And then afterwards he runs into Robin, who he hasn't seen in a while. Robin finds out that Fritz is not really on her side. Fritz is looking out for himself. He wants to find a new act for the cabaret that he runs in the Grand Hotel in Bothnia, and he's going to leave Robin in the lurch. As a result, Robin, who has gradually been falling back in love with Cyril anyway, sings a torch song as follows. I wonder what became of that old love of mine that was so fine and dandy. I can't have lost him, he must be still around somewhere. Has anybody heard of him? Has anybody seen him? 'Cause he sure would come in handy. Will someone help me recover my love affair? Why did I discover after he'd gone that his replacement was bargain basement, made in Taiwan? My mother told me never to befriend a man because he gives you candy. I didn't listen, but now I wish I'd understood. He fit me like a glove. I wonder what became of that old love of mine. I guess he's gone for good. Okay, one of the things that happened as a result of Fritz telling everybody's fortune in the town square while disguised as a gypsy was that he persuaded Fifi Rambova that her best bet for returning to the stage and having a wonderful comeback would be to perform in his cabaret. And he says, of course, you're got to be singing all the latest newfangled music. And Fifi says, no problems. I have commissioned a man to write a musical based on the poetry of T.S. Eliot. This is, of course, when Cats was still running on Broadway. Fritz says, oh, what an awful idea. Who would want to hear a musical with poetry by T.S. Eliot? And Fifi says, wait until you hear it. She doesn't give the title of the musical, but it's a setting of the wasteland, and the title of the musical is Waste. Okay. April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the deadline, mixing memory and desire, stirring old roots with spring rain. Winter kept us warm, covering earth in forgetful snow, feeding a little life with dried tubers. Summer surprised us coming over the Starnberger See with a shower of rain. We stopped at the colonnade and went on in sunlight into the Hofgarten and drank coffee and talked for an hour. Bin gar keine Russen, Stammhaus Litauen, echt Deutsch. And when we were children staying at the Archduke's, my cousin's, he took me out on a sled and I was frightened. He said, Marie, Marie, hold on tight, and down we went. In the mountains there you feel free. I read much of the night and go south in the winter. What are the roots that clutch? What branches grow out of the stony rubbish? Son of man, you cannot say or guess, for you know only a heap of broken images, where the sun beats and the dead tree gives no shelter, the cricket no relief, and the dry stone no sound of water. Only there is shadow under this red rock. Come in under the shadow of this red rock, and I will show you something different from either your shadow at evening fighting behind you, or your shadow at evening rising to meet you. There is shadow under this red rock. Come in under the shadow of this red rock, and I will show you something different. I will show you here in a handful of dust. Jane Struess was able to go to the high B flat, which I cannot do. Everybody gets together to see Hermann II come back from the dead. And Hermann II is about to resolve all of the conflicts that have caused these spies to be fighting with each other all the time. And then Zelida Archipenko leaps into the situation and says, no, no, you can't be doing this, because if Hermann II were to solve the conflict, none of us spies would be out of a job. And all of us spies would be out of a job. And I'd really rather be a spy than be in love with Cyril. So Zelida and Gutrune go back to spying. Cyril and Robin are reunited and get back together, and the entire cast sings the finale, which is a reprise of Mata Hari. Mata Hari, you kept them on their toes. You found the telltale traces that mystified your foes. You got the information, you knew the name of the game. Always you found yourself outpacing the spies that you were chasing, and that is why we're placing the name of Mata Hari in history's Hall of Fame. Tumultuous applause, returning for bows. I hope if this is ever staged, you all will come and see it. But it's been a treat just to be revisiting the music and to be able to sing it all for you. Thanks for your patience with my dreadful voice and for watching all the way through. Bye.